All right, guys. Hey, it is 4 p.m. I don't have anyone in our live session yet, but we're just going to go ahead and get started so that our meeting doesn't run over too much. It is storming at my house right now, so I've got my pup here who is very afraid of storms, so she'll be sitting with us through this. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we will get ourselves started. Let's see. Hey, Bailey, we're just getting started here. Thanks for joining. Alrighty, so in this meeting, we're just going to go through our Blackboard shell. Hopefully I can clear up any confusion if there is any on course deadline dates or assignment dates, what's due for this week, and we'll do a little overview of our syllabus as well and just some course expectations. So hopefully you've already joined Blackboard. The first thing that you would have needed to have done is begin your course entry quiz. That's going to be like your entrance into the class and also what we use for auditing purposes. So if you haven't completed that yet, please do that as soon as possible. I've already sent out some emails this week for those of you who have not completed it yet. So if you haven't completed it, just try to get that done as soon as possible. Our announcements here are going to be very, very useful. I will update those a couple times a week, and you'll also get an email notification whenever I do post an announcement, so it shouldn't go unnoticed. And then if we look over here on our navigation board, we've got our syllabus. Our course entry quiz, like I just said, is listed right here. And then our course information is going to be super helpful as well. That's going to be all of our due dates and any other important dates throughout the semester. So definitely keep an eye on this if you are concerned about a due date or when something is coming up, or just to kind of like help you pace out your schedule, anything like that will be listed right here, and any other important information that you might need. If we go down to our Start Here module, that's going to be really important and where we begin for this course. This is what we're going through right now. So, you know, we're covering all this like whole big first section right here. And our first icebreaker or our first discussion will also be listed here that we'll get into here shortly. And then I'll post the recording here as well, so you can look back on it if you'd like to. So let's jump real quick. I've got a PowerPoint set up that kind of gives a synopsis of our syllabus. And so we're just going to go through that quickly as well. Alrighty. So this is just my instructor information, my name, my email address, which that's going to be the best way that you can reach me. My office location, if you do for any reason need to meet during my office hours. And my office hours for online students sort of vary. I very rarely have a person that is in an online class come during my office hours, but I can let you know what those are if you do want to come during my office hours, or if it doesn't work with your schedule, I can schedule something with you separately. This is just our course overview. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but essentially what art appreciation is that we are learning about art theory. We are talking about different art mediums and different art making methods. We'll talk about what the role of an artist is. And then we'll also have a pretty large chunk at the end where we go over art history as well. So that's just sort of a mashup of a lot of things for this course involving visual arts. Here's some of our student learning outcomes. If you'd like to read through those are listed on the syllabus as well. I won't go through each and every one of those, but kind of same thing. We are just looking to better understand our art history, our art theory, our art making mediums, and the role of the artist. So an important thing, I've already got a couple emails about this so far. This class is an OER-based course, meaning that there is no textbook required for the course that you have to purchase. We'll be receiving our information through the use of Edpuzzle lecture videos, and I'll get into that more in here just shortly. And we'll also have a OER or an open educational resource textbook that we'll use later on in the semester, but you do not need to pay for anything for this course. So other than like the class fee, obviously, there's no textbook though that you need to purchase in addition to it. Some of our requirements that I wanted to kind of hit first, our class obviously is 100% online. If you, for any reason, for any extended period of time, do not have access to Blackboard or your email address, or if you're locked out of the course, anything like that, you will definitely need to let me know and get in touch with tech services like as soon as you possibly can. One day can make a big difference in missing an announcement, missing a change in a due date, something like that. So definitely, if you have any technical issues that go on with Blackboard, get those situated immediately. Do not put that off for more than a few hours at the very most. Also, if you do need to contact me or anyone else at Gaston College via email, you need to make sure that you are using your Gaston College email address, not your, if you have a high school email address or any other personal email address that's attached to the school, those are not going to be good communication methods. Any email that I send to you will be at your gaston.edu email address, and any response that I'm able to give you has to come through your Gaston College email address. So basically, just for no reason at all do you need to use any email address other than your Gaston College email address. And that's more of a college policy than my personal policy. I would like to respond to you, if I could, but it is just a college-wide policy that we can't respond to personal emails. This is my the attendance policy from Gaston College. We are in an online class, though, obviously, so that looks a little bit different. Our online courses, there's a number of ways that you can be counted as attending in an online course. Any submission that you make towards Blackboard, so that could be an ed puzzle video, a quiz, an assignment, a discussion, anything like that is going to be counted as attendance. So you'll probably attend multiple times throughout the week, or what attending means in this situation. Also, emails like correspondence between me and you, that will be considered attendance as well. So if you even respond and just say okay to me through an email, that is considered to be an attendance tracking method. So with that said, there is a 21-day period that if you miss 21 days consecutively of a class, so that means that you are not or have not communicated with me, you haven't submitted anything on Blackboard, you haven't watched any of the lecture videos, then it is the college policy that you will be withdrawn from the course as long as it's within the withdrawal date, which for our class, I believe, is the 9th. And so just definitely make sure that you are keeping track of things weekly. And if for any reason you do go like more than a week without submitting an assignment, I will be emailing you and contacting you and getting in touch with your counselors and advisors. So you'll be well aware if you're close to that mark, or you will have been made aware as long as you're checking your emails and everything. But just, don't get too dangerously close to that 21 marker unless you want to be withdrawn from the course. And if for any reason you want to withdraw from the course, you need to do so by the 9th of November. That is the last day that you can withdraw from the class and not receive a letter grade on your transcript. So if you want to withdraw and it's like the 1st of December or even like the 10th, then you're unfortunately just going to have to deal with whatever the letter grade is that you would end up with in the class. Otherwise, if you can do it before then, you'll just have a W on your transcript and you can take the class over again and replace the grade, or it just won't essentially affect your GPA. This is our makeup work policy. I have a pretty strict makeup work policy just because it has been sort of abused in the past when I allow for late work and makeup work to be accepted. There's almost no circumstances that I will accept any late work that is like even a minute past the due date. All of our due dates are on Sundays at 11:59. And we do have adaptive release. So at 12 a.m. on Mondays, our new week's worth of work will open up and our last week's worth of work will close. So you definitely need to make sure that you are keeping up with your deadlines. You're not waiting and, just saying like, oh, I'll turn it in for a late grade or whatever. A couple weeks down the line, I will not accept work that is requested to be turned in late, unless there are outstanding circumstances that could that you could provide medical documentation or other documentation proving that you had a valid reason for not being able to turn in your work. Excuses that are not considered outstanding circumstances are things like internet outages, failed Wi-Fi, losing a charging cable, missing the deadline by 1 minute. And 99% of the time when I do receive emails like this, where it's like, hey, my internet went out, or, you know, my Wi-Fi wasn't working, these are sent to me at like 10:59 or 11, after 11 on Sunday nights when I am not on the clock. I'm spending time with my family, or asleep, really, for that matter. And so if you're waiting till that last minute and then you tell me on top of that that like one of these things happened, unfortunately, this is a college level class. I have college level expectations, and those are not going to be valid excuses for me to accept your late work. You unfortunately are just going to have to bite the bullet on that one, and you know, do extra credit, or just, you know, try harder to get it turned in on time the next time. But again, if you do want to request to turn in late work, you can provide me like a 7 days notice. So like if you know that you're not going to be able to submit your work on time on Monday, and then you're asking for an extension beyond the regular week, then I will talk with you about that and consider potentially allowing late work to be accepted. But that's not going to include things like if you and your family are like going to the beach on Friday and you're not going to have the weekend to do your homework. You'll have to make time during the week to figure that out. That will just be, you know, it might be difficult, but that will not be an exception for late work either. But yeah, if you are like worried about turning something in on time, or if you have something come up, please just let me know. And you know, I will try to work with you if I can, but it's very, very unlikely that I will accept late work. So do not rely on that by any means. Getting into my email policy, like I said before, you must use your Gaston College email address for any correspondence with me whatsoever. Additionally, I do teach 6 sections of art appreciation, and they all start with Art 111, and then there are 3 numbers behind it. This is not the right course number for us. We are P6D, I believe. But whenever you're emailing me, just include that number somewhere in the email to me, not just Art 111, because again, all of mine start like that, but put I'm from Art 111 P6D, and I will be able to respond to you quicker. Otherwise, I go searching through like 200 plus students for your information and, you know, what your exact situation is. So it just makes it a lot easier for me. And I also can respond to you a lot quicker if I have that information in advance. Additionally, I do follow the Gaston College email netiquette policy, which just states that you are emailing me using proper grammar, spelling, punctuation, and you're making sure to address who you're writing to and then conclude with your name. I don't think about, or I think it's good for you to also practice this if you have not already like understood how to formulate an email. I don't treat it like text messages. This is a formal way of communicating. So you need to make sure that you are being professional about it, and you're not, you know, taking it just lackadaisically and not, you know, making good, strong emails to me. And if you do not withhold to these guidelines, then I will not respond to your email. So if you are not hearing back from me, make sure that you are following the email policy. Otherwise, I may not be responding to you because of those things. Other important policies, and I've already talked about this a bit, but we do have adaptive release. So you cannot work ahead on assignments, and you cannot go back and look at assignments that have already passed. So with our deadlines, we have all of our assignments that will be due on Sundays at 11:59. And then on Monday at 12 a.m., our assignments will roll over to the next week, and you can begin working on the next week's work. Some resources for you. We do have a fair amount of writing in this class, like we do essays and art analysis papers and things like that. So if you're someone who struggles with writing, which if you are, it's totally understandable. I never was the best writer when I was in school, but we do have a writing center with some really great folks there to help you out. This is the form. If you'd like to click on that, or if you'd like to get that, you can go to the Writing Center website. Here's also the contact information for that. and you can access that at any time and reach out, and they will help you revise your papers or help with your organization. I will say, if you are someone who you're constantly receiving feedback from me that says, good job, but your writing needs improvement, and that's what you're losing points on, it's likely that I will refer you to the Writing Center, and they will be in contact with you that way. Because it is, I don't want you just to be, not doing well in the course because you don't know how to formulate your paragraphs and your sentence structure and things like that, if you know your content well. Okay, we're going to get into our methods of evaluation. The first thing that we've got here is participation, which is worth 15% of our grade. This is a pretty large percentage for participation. It's going to come through our Ed Puzzle videos that we'll watch that I talked about earlier, and our textbook readings that we'll do later on in this semester. Each of our modules, and we have 8 modules, has between, I would say, 4 to 7 Ed Puzzle videos that you'll watch, and there's a folder in each of the modules for those Ed Puzzles. So make sure you are watching those videos in the entirety, because they will show up on your grade book. And the Ed Puzzles will populate in the grade book as being like lessons 1, 2, and 3, or whatever the title of the video is. And we have a lot of those. So, if you miss one, it's not a huge deal, but they do add up. So make sure that you are watching all of those videos weekly or whenever they're due. We also have assignments and discussions. Those are 2 very similar types of assignments. Assignments are simply, they require you to follow their prompts and address each of the respected tasks listed. You'll also need to submit both writing and images in one document, preferably a Word document, and upload them to the assignment. Discussions are very similar. However, discussions require that students respond to their classmates' discussions as well as submit their own, and responding in a thoughtful manner will be counted into your final grade. The first discussion we have, I require you to respond to 3 people. And I believe after that, it's mostly just 1 person, but you have a little bit more of an extended response than the first one that we do. Quizzes are worth 15% of our grade as well. We have 8 quizzes throughout the semester. Like I said, we have 8 modules, and we have 8 module quizzes. So those are, not quite as many of those. So, make sure that you are making sure to take the quizzes. Those will definitely add up as well. There's usually about 10 questions per quiz, and they're a combination of multiple choice, fill in the blank, and true or false style questions. Additionally, we do have a final exam at the very end of the semester, and there's 2 parts to that. The first part is designed by the art department. So like across the board, any art appreciation class you take at Gaston College will use that same exam. Part B is something that I create, and it varies by instructor, but what I do is just use 2 or 3 of the lowest scored quiz questions that are throughout the entire course, and then I will put those into the exam again. So all the questions in Part B, you will have already taken in a quiz. With that said, though, it's important that you study your quizzes or review your quizzes after you take them, so that if you do miss a question, that you're sure what the answer is, and then you can use that sort of like as a study guide for next time when we have the final exam. So you can write those down or take a picture of like the screen after it shows you the answers, or whatever works best for you. We have 2 projects in the course, also worth 15% each. The first one is the art analysis paper. It's a 500 to 600 word analysis of an artwork, and that'll come mid-October. I believe that's when our deadline for it is. Our final project, this is kind of coincides with our final exam. I value the final project more than I do the exam, if we're being honest. I think it's a better measure of how to show what you've learned in the course so far. But essentially what the final project is that you curate a virtual museum, and you build a website that is designed like a museum. We'll use a site called Google Art and Culture a lot in here, which is basically a virtual gallery of a lot of major museums and galleries across the world. And you're kind of creating your own version of that and curating it based on a theme and different periods of art that you are interested in. Like I said, final exam, this is worth 10% of our grade. It's a Part A and a Part B, so they're worth 5% each. Part A, or they both are multiple choice, fill in the blank, and true or false style questions and a couple of slide identifications as well. If your grade's looking a little bit low, you can attend an approved art exhibition on campus or another local museum or gallery that is pre-approved by me. And all you need to do is take a selfie in the gallery with the artwork and email it to me. And this will add 2 points to your final grade, and you can use this a maximum of 3 times. So if you do it all 3 times, you could get 6 points considered to be added to your grade. But make sure that you don't go to a museum and then retroactively send me, or try to, don't go to an exhibit without first telling me if it's like not a campus event, because it may not be an approved gallery for us to use for this extra credit opportunity. Alrighty, so congratulations on your college status now. You are officially Gaston College students if you were not already. You have access to a lot of things like gym facilities, library access, student discounts, and much more. But this also comes with the expectations of college students in the class, expectations of college students in this class, to be professional, mature, and respectful at all times. So I know that a lot of us are, with online classes, it's just a toss-up of who is in the course. Sometimes it's returning students that, you know, haven't been in college in quite some time. Sometimes it's high school students that are still taking high school classes alongside of that, and then everything in between. So I'm kind of speaking directly to my high schoolers when I say this, because I know a lot of us in here are high school students. This class is, you need to come to it with the expectations of taking a college level course. Although you are still in high school, this is not a high school level class. You need to make sure that you are keeping track of your grades, that you are, you know, turning in your assignments frequently, that you are using our email policy, netiquette, et cetera, et cetera. This is not something that, you know, this is a different style of class than you are used to taking if you haven't taken a college level course at this time. And if you are a returning student or have been at Gaston College for a while now, you know the expectations, you know how the college level courses go. And so, but I still expect you guys to be professional and respectful as well. Okay, so let me get out of this real quick and we'll jump back over to our Blackboard page. So what we've got going on this week, and I've already made an announcement about this as well, but we'll review it again. Let's go to our course information. We have got our Welcome to Art Appreciation and Review Course Expectations, Calendar, Syllabus, etc., which is what we just did, so you're good on that. And then the only other thing you need to do is complete the course entry quiz and complete the icebreaker assignment. You do not need to get into Module 1 yet. That will come and open next week. Right now, the only thing that will be in your modules folder is the projects folder, which you obviously do not need to start worrying about that yet, and our final exam folder. So you do not need to worry about getting into either of those things yet. The only thing that you need to do for this week is go to your Start Here and complete your icebreaker discussion and complete your course entry quiz. And that's all you need to do. The icebreaker discussion, I'm going to go through it real quick so we can kind of get a synopsis of what I'm looking for there. You need to share with us your favorite artwork and find a good quality image of it, save it to your computer, and then give us a little title that tells us the artist's name, the title, the medium, and the date. And then create a thread and embed your saved image of your favorite artwork to the discussion board, and include a short paragraph around 150 words about why you've selected this image as your favorite. Does it have a connection to you? Do you like the subject matter, etc.? And then respond to at least 3 classmates in a meaningful way, more than just like a good job. So this is a good student example that I have here. This is also a great example of how to create your own label that has that artist name, the title, the oil on canvas, or like the medium, and then the year as well. And this is a good solid paragraph here. One thing I do want to point out that seems to always be a little bit of an issue, a title of an artwork is just like any other like title of something, like a movie or a book or a play, anything like that. When you're writing it and like you're acknowledging it in your writing, you need to either italicize, underline, or add quotations to the title to signify that it is not just part of the regular sentence. It is like a proper noun. And so we see that done here in the label. And then this is actually a mistake that I caught earlier today. This person did not do that right here. They capitalized, which is great, but they need to stick with the italics and just, put that little part right there in italics again. But yeah, that is all you need to do. It's a really, really simple one this week. And then obviously just do your course entry quiz. But otherwise, that is all that we have going on this week. We'll get into module 1. Like it says right here, it's hidden until the 18th at 12 a.m. And that's when you will dive into that. We won't have like weekly check-ins like this that are live. I will give you weekly check-ins in video form to tell you about like, what's coming up for the week and just kind of like keep you informed that way. But this is our only like live session that we'll do. Our class doesn't have like an official meeting time since it is 100% online. It's not hybrid. But this is the only time that we will have a live Zoom meeting like this, unless you want to meet with me one-on-one. But otherwise, I think that is covering most everything that we have going on right now. Just keep on the lookout for the announcements and for emails from me. And otherwise, though, we should be good to go. We only have one person in our live meeting right now. Bailey, did you have any questions that you wanted to ask before we end the meeting? You can just give me a thumbs up if you are not, or like a thumbs up in the chat if you'd like to. Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate the people who did join live. And if you are watching this in advance, good luck for this week. And just let me know if you need any help along the way.